A lot of what you're seeing behind me is a lot of what we have is an existing condition in ponderosa pine on the Santa Fe. And what you have is a much more dense forest where the trees per acre are way higher than they were historically. Again, when I said between 40 and 60 trees an acre, what we're looking at behind me is upwards of 400, 500 trees per acre, or even more in some cases. So you have the increased densities, and then if you also note all of the dead down material that's on the ground, and the accumulation of those heavy fuel loadings underneath this dense forest thicket. The other thing you see, the needle layer of what's on the surface has accumulated for multiple decades. Again, since the 1890s, this needle layer has been accumulating, the dead down has been accumulating, and these trees have been regenerating in to where we're way out of normal structure of what the forest once was when fire was regulating it. A thing to note about southwestern ponderosa pine ecosystems is we're an arid climate. We're essentially we're arid. Humidity values are generally very low throughout the year, and we don't decompose this dead down material or this needle layer very well at all. In essentially knowing what our historic return interval is with fire being that average of 7 years, fire was the recycler of this dead and down vegetation. Decomposition would take forever in these arid ecosystems to turn this stuff over into some sort of organic layer. So the way these systems function are that fire is essentially that recycler of the dead down vegetation that recycled nutrients back into the soil, that facilitated herbaceous growth of grass, different shrubs, and kept the forest generally open. And when the fire burned, it wasn't a big deal, and it was generally a surface fire. Kind of going on the point of increased fuel loading in presence of fire suppression and absence of frequent fire. We're going on 130 years now in this area. We can see, again, this is an arid ecosystem where we're not decomposing anything. Fire was that recycler. And just in this little area here, I can grab up, that's quite a bit of fuel, and this puts off quite a bit of heat. And fire that happened regularly on the surface in your historical fire regime of pine would have cleaned this stuff up, would have kept these fuel loadings down. Again, get the concept of just a little square foot that I grabbed up and how much burnable vegetation there is here with 130 years of accumulation.